Hi, Big Dreamers. It's Eva Cartman, the host of the Dream Big podcast show, the place to go to learn, laugh, and grow. And in this episode, we are celebrating the 3-year anniversary of the Dream Big podcast. 3 years. It's hard to believe, and we're just getting this party started. You ready? It's time to dream big. My name is Eva Cartman. I'm part of a squad of super kids that are here to change the world. We don't believe you need to be adults to have big goals and start working towards your dreams. We believe age is just a number, and you're never too young to make a difference. We may be young, but we are not naive. We understand that achieving our big dreams will not be easy. It will take incredible dedication, hard work, and yes, massive action. There will be ups and downs, but we embrace the challenges and relish pushing outside of our comfort zone because this is how we grow. They may not teach us these concepts in our school textbooks, but we are smart enough to know that the tools and tactics to achieve our big dreams are out there. And we are willing to do the work to seek out these skills and master them because we know that our future depends on it. We are the Big Dreamers, and it's time to dream big. Wow, Big Dreamers. It's simply amazing that it has been 3 years since we launched the Dream Big podcast. Our very first show, episode 1, was published on October 19th, 2016. And here we are at episode 160, October 21st, 2019, 3 years later. Whether you have been part of this journey with me since 2016, or you have just recently learned about the podcast, I wanted to thank each and every one of you Big Dreamers for listening to the podcast, for supporting the show, and for being my inspiration to continue to record new episodes each and every week. There are times when I am tired or even sick. The past few weeks, my whole family has had a terrible cough and has been under the weather. Times where I would honestly rather skip a week or two. But we made a commitment to publish a new episode every Monday, and I am proud to say we have not missed a single Monday since we have launched the podcast in 2016. Not one. And that's because we know the podcast is not just about me, my parents, or my sister Sophia. This podcast is for you and your families, and we want to be a consistent source of positive information and inspirational interviews. And when you have a mission that's bigger than you are willing to go the extra mile, even on days where you'd rather just curl up on the couch and not do anything. As my family was debating what to share in this 3-year anniversary episode, we noticed that everyone this week has been talking about Marie Forleo's new book called Everything is Figureoutable. We haven't had Marie on the podcast yet, but I hope to have a chance to have her as a guest in the future where I can ask her about her book because it's about such a simple yet powerful concept that if you embrace the idea of everything is figureoutable, your life would change forever. You see, so many people give up in life because they assume something is not possible. As soon as you decide something is not possible, then do you think you're going to try? Well, of course not. That's why the idea that everything is figureoutable is such a game changer. If you decide to make that a guiding belief that you live by. Yes, maybe you don't know how to do something at this moment. Most of us don't know how to do most things. But if you believe that you can figure it out, that it is, as Marie calls it, figureoutable, then you are empowered to take action, especially if it is something you are passionate about, like your big dreams. While my parents never use the phrase, everything is figureoutable, the underlying concept is something that my parents have ingrained in me ever since I can remember. Specifically from when we were just beginning to talk, my parents said we are not allowed to utter the phrase, I can't. That phrase was not permitted to be in our vocabulary. Why? Because if you tell yourself that you can't do something, then why would you even try? Launching this podcast is a prime example. 3 years ago when we launched, I was 7 years old. At the time, I didn't know how to do anything podcast related. How to record a podcast, how to prepare questions, how to interview a guest, how to get the podcast edited and published so that you can listen to it. It would have been easy for my family to say, well, we don't know how to do that, and not get started. But with the attitude that everything is figureoutable, you know that if you care enough to learn, then you can get it done. And sure enough, if you want to launch a podcast or get a YouTube show or a blog, then there are step-by-step guides available that you can follow, and you can do it too. Just take a moment to think about all the things we now take for granted and what would never come to be if inventors did not have a everything is figureoutable attitude. Have you ever been lucky enough to fly on a plane? The only reason why you and I can fly today is because in the early 1900s, the Wright brothers decided that flying a plane was figureoutable. Think about that. Humans until the 1900s would have thought the idea of getting in a flying vehicle that could take you across the country and eventually across the oceans would be preposterous. And now we have airports all over the world, and you can get practically anywhere on the globe within 24 hours. Have you ever been to a Disneyland resort? Well, the only reason that you and your family were able to have a fun-filled day at Disneyland is because Walt Disney decided that creating a gigantic park filled with rides and suites and non-stop fun was figureoutable. And if Disneyland is not near where you live, then Walt Disney inspired other entrepreneurs to create the local parks or carnivals that are near your house. On a more serious note, in America, up until the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920, women did not have the right to vote. And until the 1960s, less than 60 years ago, there was enforced racial segregation in the southern United States. Thankfully, there were strong women like Susan Anthony and Lucy Stone who believed that everything was figureoutable, including amending the U.S. Constitution, which was no easy feat. And to defeat segregation, there were leaders like Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and John Lewis who believed it was possible to end segregation and had a vision, a dream for America. Whereas Martin Luther King put it, people would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. So my challenge to myself and all of you listening is to adopt the belief that everything is figureoutable. If the Wright brothers can figure out how to fly, and Walt Disney could figure out how to build a magical theme park, and civil rights leaders could empower women to vote and end segregation, then certainly we should never say the phrase, I can't. To the contrary, we should believe from the bottom of our hearts that if we are passionate about something, if we really want to make a difference or creating something or meet someone or travel somewhere, then it is figureoutable. The reason why I have done this podcast now for 3 years and why I will continue to bring you new episodes is because I believe in you. I have seen what adopting the idea of everything is figureoutable has done in my life. Just 3 years ago, I was so shy that when we went to the restaurant, I would try to get my parents to place my order for me so I wouldn't have to talk to the waiter. And this past year, I had the honor of interviewing Ivana Lynch, who played Luna Lovegood in the Harry Potter films, and James Newton Howard, who wrote the music for Fantastic Beasts and many other Hollywood movie classics. The James Newton Howard interview will be published soon, and you won't want to miss it. I tell you this not to impress you, but to impress upon you that the belief that everything is figureoutable is a secret to achieving your big dreams. It's just 3 words. Everything is figureoutable. But those 3 words can change everything for you. I hope you enjoyed this special 3-year anniversary show of the Dream Big Podcast. As always, we all have show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/160. There, I will include a link to the very first episode from October 2016, which if you haven't listened to, is a fun introduction to the podcast and a way to get to know me a bit better. And of course, we will link to information about Marie Forleo's new book, Everything is Figureoutable, the Ivana Lynch interview, and in coming weeks, be on the lookout for my interview with legendary composer James Newton Howard. If you want to give my family and I a gift for the 3-year anniversary of the podcast, then please just take a minute to leave us a review on iTunes at dreambigpodcast.com/iTunes. I do read your reviews, so it would mean the world to me if you took a minute to rate the podcast, and that would also help us to reach more people. Finally, if you would like to be part of the beta of the Dream Big Academy and get my free Confidence Secrets course, you can do that at dreambigpodcast.com/beta. In this free Confidence Secrets course, you'll get over 1 hour of me teaching you about how to develop your superpower of self-belief. We are actually going to be pulling down the beta pretty soon because the Academy is almost ready. So do this now while it's still online and free. If you're a younger big dreamer listening to this, please ask your parents to help you get it. Again, the beta is completely free for a limited time. So please take advantage and get the course while you still can at dreambigpodcast.com/beta. That's all the announcements for today. As always, thank you so much for tuning into the Dream Big podcast. This is Eva Cartman reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional, you need to make them essential. So take massive action to turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion the way life was meant to be. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!